Today we did have a marsh fire in the Mentor Marsh, which is one of our large natural areas. It's not often that we get a fire inside the marsh, but when we do, it is rather large. Thankfully this time, at this point, it is small. We are not evacuating any of the homes around the marsh at this time, but we, of course, ask our residents to pay attention and just be advised that the marsh is on fire at this point. The call came out about 12:14. Our first units responded from up the street here on Corduroy Road and arrived to determine that we did have a marsh fire actively going. At this point, it is blowing to the north end of the marsh in the section that it's in, so that's good for us where we can corner it off at the wood line. So at this point, that's where we're at. We're working on a lot of manpower. It's a long way out there without road access to get our fire hose back there, get good water supply. And of course, that does wear down the firefighters, so we're rotating crews in and out. And once we have more information, we'll try to get you some questions answered. I'd also introduce Rebecca Donaldson. She's with the Cleveland Museum of Natural History, which is one of the large owners of the Mentor Marsh property. And they maintain it as a natural area for people to come out and enjoy, especially because it is a large birding area for a large population of migrating birds.
How close are you to getting it out?
At this point with the marsh, it's surround and let us drown it. There's no time frame on that. It all depends on how the wind blows the marsh. And with where it's at, it has its own little natural wind envelopes inside of it, so we can't just go with the prevailing winds.
So you can get into it to get water to it? Or?
Yes, we actually have some hose lines already stretched that have extinguished certain parts of it, but we're also having to circle it and cut it off from the other sources of fuel.
And how much of an area are we talking that's burning?
That's actively burning, probably about an acre, but we've probably already lost probably 10 acres of damage at this point.
What's the proper name for that area?
Mentor Marsh.
Mentor Marsh?
Yes.
Do you have any idea where it started?
I'm not sure on the exact landowner property that owns that section of the marsh. We'll have to go back and review the maps exactly where it's at.
And as far as a landmark, a direction of where that is for viewers, where would you say that location is? West of?
For our local viewers, I would say that it is west of Woodridge Road and south of all the residences on Headlands Road in that section, between Woodridge Road and the Mentor Lagoons section of our harbor.
And right up against the lake, sort of? I mean,
No.
But there's no properties between there and the lake?
There are,
Oh.
yes. Mainly, all the properties in that section, all the properties in that section are deep, long properties, so most of the homes are quite a ways away from the marsh in that area, so that's why we're not having to evacuate any homes.
Any indication of arson?
No, not that we know of at this point. That'll be under investigation. I'll have to check with the police for what they're going to find out with that, but not that I've heard of.
And nobody's been evacuated or needed to be?
Correct.
Some of the neighbors said they saw kids running out right before the fire started.
We're going to have the police check on that. We have had in the past, our marsh fires have been arson related, but at this point we can't say that it is.